Hello everyone, good morning my dear students. Today we are going to read our next chapter, and the name of the chapter is Landscape of the Soul by Nathalie Troveroy. Now in this particular text we are going to see about the concept of art, the different type of concept between Chinese and Western. What is the meaning of the eye of the landscape? What is the role of art in human life, and what is the role of human being in art also, right? So this writer is actually an art historian, and she is studying and defining different kinds of philosophies that is there in the culture of China as well as in that Western culture, right? So without wasting any time, let's go into the text. Now in this particular prose, in this video number 1, we are going to read two stories from China and the Western philosophy. One is from Chinese and one is from the Western philosophy, right? So let's read the text. A wonderful old tale is told about the painter Hu Daozi, who lived in the 8th century. So we got the name of a Chinese painter, Wu Daozi, who lived in the 18th century. His last painting was a landscape commissioned by the Tang Emperor Zhuangzong to decorate a palace wall. So this was the task given by this particular emperor to this painter, Wu Daozi, to decorate the palace wall. The master had hidden his work behind a screen so only the emperor would see it. For a long while, the emperor admired the wonderful scene, discovering forests, high mountains, waterfalls, clouds floating in an immense sky. Immense means very high, huge. Men on hilly plats, birds in flight. So this is the description of the work, the painting. And the emperor is also admiring, praising the art. Now there is a conversation between the painter and the king. "Look, sir," said the painter, "in this cave, at the foot of the mountain, dwells a spirit." Now he is explaining, the painter is actually explaining the philosophy behind this painting. So what he is saying, that in this particular painting, in this particular mountain that you can see in this painting, there is a spirit. The painter clapped his hands, and the entrance to the cave opened. So the painter clapped his hand, and the door ultimately opened. Now how is it possible? You are watching a painting that is there on the wall, and wall painting, and is it possible that the painting is moving? The things inside the painting, they are moving. How is it possible? Let's see. So the door ultimately opened. Now again the conversation. "The inside is splendid, beyond anything words can convey. Please let me show your majesty the way." And this is, the painter is saying to the king that, let me show you the way. Please come inside. The painter entered the cave, but the entrance closed behind him. And before the astonished emperor could move or utter word, the painting had vanished from the wall. Not a trace of Wu Daozi brush was left, and the artist was never seen again in this world. So the painter ultimately entered into the painting, and the door ultimately closed behind him, and along with the painting, the painter is also vanished. Now how is it possible? This is only possible in the imagination of the painter, right? So what kind of philosophy is there in this particular prose, we will explain in the next videos. So this is the story, okay? The painter is actually explaining the story to the king, and he disappeared with the painting. So what kind of art, what kind of philosophy, we will get to know when we will come across the another paragraphs. So let's see. Such stories played an important part in China's classical education. The books of Confucius and Zhuangzi are full of them. They help the master to guide his disciple in the right direction. Beyond the anecdote, they are deeply revealing of the spirits in which art was considered. So what we got to know, that these are the stories which played an important part in China's classical education. And these are the famous philosophers Confucius, Zhuangzi, and in this way they guide their disciples. Disciples means the followers, okay, to the right direction. And this kind of anecdote means a short story about a real incident or person. So this kind of anecdote, this kind of stories reveal the spirit that is there in this Chinese philosophy, right? Another one story is there from this Chinese philosophy. Let's see. Contrast this story or another famous one about a painter who would not draw the eye of a dragon he had painted, or for fear it would fly out of the painting, with an old story from my native Flanders that I find most representative of Western painting. So another story is there from China, that is, one painter is also there who ultimately painted the entire dragon, but he is not drawing or painting the eye of the dragon for the fear that it would fly out of the painting. So this is their philosophy. Now what is the philosophy, as I am saying again and again, we will get to know in these next paragraphs. Now these are the two stories from this Chinese part, and now contrast to these stories we are going to read a story from the Western philosophy, from this Western side. Let's see. Now this is the Western story, okay, page 35, the second paragraph. In 15th century Antwerp, a master blacksmith called Quentin Metzies fell in love with a painter's daughter. The father would not accept a son-in-law in such a profession. So this is the name, Quentin, and he fall in love with the painter's daughter. And the painter is not going to accept the son-in-law because he is having the profession of a blacksmith. So Quentin sneaked into the painter's studio and painted a fly on his latest panel with such delicate realism that the painter tried to sweat it away before he realized what had happened. So Quentin ultimately entered into the studio and he painted a fly, okay, on the latest panel, means on the latest painting of the painter, with such delicate realism. Delicate realism means completely it is appearing to us that the fly is real one. So he painted in such a way. Quentin was immediately admitted as an apprentice into his studio, and after watching that Quentin is having this kind of talent, the painter ultimately admitted him as an apprentice, means the son-in-law is now a trainee under the painter, under the supervision of the painter. He married his beloved and went on to become one of the most famous painters of his age. These two stories illustrate what each form of art is trying to achieve: a perfect illusionistic likeness in Europe, the essence of inner life and spirit of Asia. So this is the main point. Western philosophy, Western art is always trying to get the realistic viewpoint, the realism, and Chinese art is drawing the inner life, the spirit. Okay, so we will get to know about the details of these difference in the next video. So this is the first one, the video number 1, and we got to know about the painter Wu Daozi, the cave and he vanished. Next, the painter from the China again, the dragon and the eye, and he's not drawing the eye of the dragon for the fear that it would fly out of the painting. And then one story from the Western part. The son-in-law is drawing the fly in such a realistic way that is appearing to the father-in-law, and he ultimately joined as a kind of trainee under the supervision of this painter. So reality versus abstract concept. Reality versus the spirit, the inner life. right? So let's see about the details in the next paragraphs that I will come in that video number 2. Thank you.